Welcome back to NitroLandTutorials. In my last video I showed how to make a landscape picture 10 times better in under 10 minutes. So in this video I'm going to go through and show how to make a portrait photo look way better with just a few quick edits, and you can do this in under 5 minutes or so. So here's a picture I took down in Mexico a few years ago. I really like this picture. The only problem is the background is really bright, and me standing there, I am not very bright, and so I don't really stand out. So I'm going to try to change that. As you can see, here's the before, and then here's the after. So I really just blurred the background a little bit, made the background more vibrant, and then I also made myself a little bit brighter and stand out. So let's get started. First thing, go to File, New. I already have my image copied to my clipboard, so I'm just going to change the resolution to 300 pixels per inch, and then click OK. Now I'm going to hit Control or Command V to paste my image in, and then I'm going to right click on my layer and go to Duplicate Layer. And I do this just to be safe, so that no matter what happens, I do have the original image backed up and right there in my window, so that I won't lose it. Next I'm going to go to my adjustments, and I'm going to go to brightness and contrast. You can play with the brightness and contrast however you like. I'm going to decrease the brightness and then increase the contrast. You can hide that panel by clicking the double arrow here. Next I'm going to add a Hue and Saturation adjustment layer, and then I'm just going to bring the saturation up pretty high. So now I have my background looking how I want it to look, but the subject of the photo is also dark, and all the adjustment layers are acting on top of our subject as well. So we're going to go over here and grab our quick selection tool, and you just want to go through and highlight the subject of the photo. And then if you select something that you don't want, you can hold Alt or Option whenever you select, and it'll subtract it from the selection, just like I do here. Next we're going to go to Refine Edge, and then I'm going to bring the radius up a little bit. I'm going to bring the smooth up a little bit, and also the feather. We're just going to do this so that there's not a crisp line around my body. It kind of flows and makes it look like I'm actually there and not photoshopped in. So with our subject selected, we're now going to go and select brightness and contrast adjustment layer and make sure the mask is selected. Then I'm going to grab my paint tool, and with black as our primary color, I'm just going to fill in our selection. And then I'm going to do the same for the Hue and Saturation adjustment layer. And by doing this, the adjustment layers are only on the background and not on the foreground. And then one last thing, with our subject still selected, I'm going to add a new brightness and contrast adjustment layer. So this will automatically add a mask to it, so that only our selection will be affected by this adjustment layer. And I'm just going to brighten up the subject a little bit. So now I'm bright, which is good, but I did lose a little bit of the tan I did have. So to fix this, I'm going to grab my burn tool with the exposure at 50% and my brush size a little large. I'm going to hold Control or Command on the layer mask we made earlier with the selection around the subject, and then I'm simply going to go through, and then I'm just going to color in with the burn tool just to bring back a little bit of that tan that I did have. And now that it is easy to see, I'm just going to add a new folder, naming it Adjustments. And I'm going to drag all the adjustments I made into that folder. And if I click this eyeball, I can hide all the adjustments I made, just to show what changes we made and how it looks before and after. So the next thing I'm going to do is blur the background a little bit, just so I pop more from the background. So to do this, I'm going to hold Control or Command again and click on the adjustment layer icon to make the selection around the subject. I'm going to grab my marquee tool, and then I'm going to right click and go to Select Inverse. I'm going to duplicate our background. Now I'm going to go over to our toolbar, and I'm going to grab the blur tool. With the strength at 22%, I'm going to go through and blur the whole background. So now the background is blurred. There's one thing I'm going to do just to make the subject of the photo pop a little bit more. I'm going to hold Control or Command again, click on the layer icon to make another selection around the subject, and then I'm going to go to Select, modify, and expand. I'm going to expand it by 20 pixels. I'm then going to grab my paint bucket tool and create a new layer. And then fill in the selection with white. And then I'm going to go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. And I'm just going to blur this a little bit. And now that it's blurred, I'm going to go to our blending options and I'm going to change it from normal to overlay. And then I'm also going to lower the opacity just so that it's not so vibrant, but just so that it makes the subject of our photo pop up a little bit more. So there you have it. Super quick and simple way to make a portrait photo edited and look great for social media. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you really liked it and want to see more, please subscribe, hit that bell icon, and leave a comment below. Let me know what you want to see next or if you enjoyed this video.